Assalamu alaikum. I'm Luqman El-Kasabany and this is �'𝐲𝐤𝐬 Academy. In today's episode, inshallah, we will discuss the different shapes of the connected letters of three letters, which are fa, qaf, and kaf. So, stay tuned.
�'𝐲𝐤𝐬 Academy.
This is just to remind you that we are explaining using Al-Minhaj book, the official book of �'𝐲𝐤𝐬 Academy. The connected letters, we will take them today, are somehow super easy. So let's discover them. The first one is the letter fa. Okay? So the initial form of letter fa is, we can say, it looks like the isolated form, as you can see. Okay, letter fa, it looks like the isolated form, but without this ending at the end. Okay, so this is the initial form of letter fa. I think if I draw this shape for you, and I told you, please tell me what is that letter, I think it will be easy for you to tell me that this is the initial form of the letter fa, because it doesn't change a lot. It doesn't change a lot from the isolated form. So this is the initial form. What about the middle form? This is the middle form of the letter fa, which looks the initial form but with adding a line before it. Okay, what about the final form of letter fa? This is the final form of the letter fa. It looks like the isolated form but with adding a line before it. Okay, so let's take an examples. The first example we have is for the initial form, farq. As you can see, this is the fa in the initial form, and then we have al-fa in the middle form, tafidu, and then we have al-fa in the final form, zayf. Okay, so this is the all forms of letter fa. The next letter, which is letter qaf, the difference in the shape between the isolated form of letter qaf and letter fa is a little bit like letter fa is like a flat, okay, but letter qaf is like a semicircle. Okay, this is, so the difference we have between the shapes of letter fa and letter qaf is just with the isolated form. Is a fa is flatted and al qaf is semicircles. But for the remaining shapes, I mean initial, middle, and final, there is no great difference except the dots, because al qaf has 2 dots and al fa has 1 dot. Okay, so let's see al qaf in the initial form. As I told you, the same of al fa, but just the difference is these 2 dots. What about the middle form? The same of the middle form of letter fa, but just the 2 dots. What about the final form? The same of letter fa at the final form, but the difference is just the dots, and also al fa is flatted, as we said, and al qaf is like a semicircle. So the final form of al qaf looks like the isolated form of the letter qaf. Okay, the last letter we have here is the letter kaf, but let's take an examples first. This is the initial form qa, qamar, and baqar in the middle form, and farq at the final form. So al-kaf, the last letter we have here in this group, and we will know its shape in the initial form. As you can see, this is the initial form of the letter kaf. I know that it's changed a little bit. This is the isolated form as it's changed to this. Okay, so imagine that we add a line here and we removed this from here. So the result will be this shape. So this is letter kaf in the initial form. The middle form is the same of the initial form, but with a line before it. As for the final form, is the same of the isolated form, but with a line before it. Okay, I think it's somehow easy. I mean final form, because it looks like the isolated form. But with the initial and middle, just remember that we will remove this and we will add this like this. Okay, let's take examples now to clarify more this point. The word kutub, as you can see, this is the initial form of letter kaf. Makr, this is the middle form of letter kaf. And finally, vannuka, this is the final form of the letter kaf. I hope this is clear. If you still have any question, or if you don't understand anything about these three shapes, these shapes of these three letters, just let me know in the comment section below. In the next episode, inshallah, we continue the remaining shapes of the remaining letters. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Now we came to the end of this episode. So if you want to follow up the next episodes, consider subscribing. Also, if you want a qualified Quran tutor, whether for yourself or your kids, we are providing online Quran classes. Don't forget to check out our app. See you inshallah in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum.
Shaykhi Academy. Learn and enjoy.